Welcome to Wheels and Deals Podcast, sponsored by North Georgia Toyota in beautiful Dalton, Georgia, the ultimate pit stop for all things automotive. Join your hosts, Daniel Gross and Benjamin Ward, guiding you through the exhilarating world of car buying, car facts, and car parts, all while throwing in a dash of insight into the life at a dealership. So buckle up, tune in, and let's hit the road to explore the thrilling journey of Wheels and Deals. Welcome, my friends, to another episode of Wheels and Deals. I am Ben Ward, your host. I'm once again with Daniel Gross, finally back on the show after a long hiatus. I hope you're. Try that again. I don't like
Go
that.
for it. Keep it going.
I don't like that at all.
We like it. We like the raw and unedited. No, glad to be back, buddy. Long hiatus. We had Kaylee, one of our associates up there in the BDC. She was out with her new baby, Lennox, and they're healthy, doing great. And we're back. Glad that she's back, and I'm back to be able to do the podcast. But yeah, it was a break, and we got through it, and glad she's back. For sure.
That's right. And you came back just in time for podcasting for a very special occasion.
Football season.
Oh, yeah. College and NFL kicking off. So this is actually a very special podcast we're doing. We've been trying to do a podcast at least every other week maximum, but maybe mostly once a month for everybody. You know, we're doing the best we could. It's been very busy at the dealership without Daniel being around, and I'm also part of the community as well, so it's been hard to kind of keep up making fresh content like I did when I first started the job. But we were doing this podcast special for you guys because we are in the South. People are obsessed with college football or just football in general. Everyone is going to be glued to their couches basically from Thursday nights till Monday nights. Yes. All fall and winter long, entering 2025. So we got special guest Ray Woodward, one of our sales managers here. And Ray, introduce yourself to the show with the Wheels and Deals.
Hey, Wheels and Deals, Ray Woodward, one of the sales managers have been mentioned. North Georgia Toyota, been with the company a good while. Love what I do, love the company. And guess what, Ben? I also happen to be a volunteer football
player. Right.
Brings a little diversity in here.
SEC, baby.
SEC. So we're going to talk about. Let's talk about who was our favorite teams to start out with. So we always said Ray's already at Tennessee. Daniel, I'm going to say you're Georgia football.
Yes, I'm Georgia Bulldog over here, born and raised. But it's a cool mix here, and like geographically, we're so close to the Tennessee line. You get a lot of Tennessee fans, even, poor Matt here, Georgia Tech fan. Even though they did have a big victory over number 10 Florida State, that was really nice to watch.
It was a nice one.
But you get a lot of mix here. Tennessee, Georgia fans, we coincide together as much as we can,
and sadly you get those Alabama and Auburn fans that are out here too, here in Dalton.
And shout out John David, he's the only Clemson fan that I know of.
Yeah, a really big game tomorrow, as we're posting this later on today. So this is a really big game, and I actually made an event for a dealership to kind of end the summer, entering the fall, for like a little video game roll-in truck to come in with all kinds of game systems. And the day I booked it, I bought it, reserved, and I'm like, oh no, I booked it on the opener of one of the biggest.
May not be busy.
Because either everyone's going to be at home, or you could come over here at the dealership and hang out with us, because we're going to have the game playing too.
But for people that are unaware of the cool events that we do, what all is going to be happening tomorrow for customers?
Happening for tomorrow, we're obviously going to have the Georgia Bulldog game in the showroom, but we're going to have some popcorn. I'm going to get some pizza from Little Caesars right next door to us.
Right.
So you guys have something to munch on while you're watching the game. But if those who are not the biggest football fans, or you have children that just can't sit still, we will have a video game truck, right? The Chattanooga Rolling Video Game. I believe that's the name of their company. It's literally a video game truck that drives around, and
that's cool. I didn't know that existed until you booked it, but it's a cool idea.
Yeah,
it really is cool.
So it's coming by the dealership from 11 to 3, and just in time for the Georgia the kickoff at noon. So,
dude, it's going to be a good time.
There's actually a bunch of gamers out there, isn't there, Ben?
Yeah,
you're a gamer.
I do game. It's like I have a young one, and it's been kind of hard to maintain gaming. And everyone on this podcast, me and Daniel talked about our YouTube channel. So I'm also a content creator outside of outside of my job here. So I try to game whenever I can, whenever I squeeze them in. I'm always looking forward to like fun games. Like I'm a Halo fan. I like the Red Dead series, Grand Theft Auto. I'm into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But whenever I just like to follow the storyline of those games. But if it's just like casually sitting there playing games, I'm not that guy anymore. I used to be.
Yeah.
But when you include more stuff, you have less time for that.
I'll tell you what. I'm a Super Mario fan.
Yes, I know you're.
That's a classic.
classic
That's a
Super
classic
Mario.
game.
I
You can't
love
beat that. That's
Yeah,
a
I
good game.
love it.
The movie was fantastic. I mean, I love the movie. Yeah.
Dude, this time of year is so exciting. Like we're talking about getting into fall, cold weather finally getting here. I know us in Georgia, we're dying for some colder
Yes.
weather. You got football, you got the Dove and Goose opener. That's if you're a hunting guy. That's a big weekend coming up. Football, I mean, it's the best time of year, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
And we cannot wait to see Georgia take on Clemson. And what's Tennessee playing against?
Tennessee's got a kind of a tough opener this week.
Chattanooga Mocs.
Yes, sir. They
Well-
certainly do. And I think the spread, it looks like, is about 35.5, I do believe. No. Yeah, 38.5.
Whoa.
Oh man.
So-
But
Yeah,
it should be good to get the young guys and
Yeah,
get them
you know.
out, and it's a good game for Chattanooga because a lot of people don't know, like, they make a lot of money off that. And
They certainly
schools
do.
that size rely on the bigger stages to have a program. So
Yeah,
it's cool,
even Alabama played against the Mocs last season.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I think they destroyed them, but it's
Yeah.
still to bring traction.
Something interesting. It's a lot of firsts this year in college football. It's the first year of the 12-team playoff ever. So the college football playoff will be completely different, and a lot of teams are doing a lot of firsts. Alabama, this is the first season since Nick Saban's been around, so the Saban era is gone, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I think this new guy, I forget his name.
I don't know, but don't you feel sorry for him?
No, I don't.
Having
Yeah.
to follow up,
I go look
say,
at
It's like
man.
it's like Daddy handed you the keys to the Cadillac.
I'll go look it up while
Finally
you guys
tuned
talk.
machine, ready to go. I mean, honestly, if you look at it from his, like, if you're in his shoes, looking down the barrel of this, there's, as long as you don't do something crazy, you're not going to screw it up. I mean, Saban didn't leave you in shambles.
But if you don't win,
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
fan base
yeah.
is going to eat you alive. Yeah, it would be tough.
So the name is Colin DeBoer.
Yeah.
DeBoer. I guess.
and he was the former head coach of Washington,
Yes.
which they made it to one of the playoff games last year. So
they'll
he
be
knows what he's
strong.
doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's going to be super weird to see them take the field and not have Nick Saban. I mean, it's just
Well, you have to find like a good successor for Nick Saban.
yeah.
Like, there's just like
I don't know if there is one though. I think somebody just had to take it.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you never know. This could be a big legacy. It
could be.
for Alabama. It could be a great thing,
I mean,
or it
they-
could not be a good
I
thing.
mean, they've
You
had
never
Bear
know.
Bryant. They've had Nick Saban. They both have 20-foot tall bronze statues outside of the Tuscaloosa Stadium.
Yeah,
I've
I've been
seen
there
them.
myself. I saw.
Yeah,
I took
it's-
pictures of me and Nick
Yeah,
Saban together.
dude, yeah.
the bronze Nick Saban.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. It's gonna be
Yeah,
tough.
I've been to a lot of college campuses, and I still have not yet seen University in Georgia in person.
What?
which- I know, it's crazy. So, like,
Greg needs to take you to
well,
Athens.
we were supposed to go, I believe, in 2020, but we all know what happened there in that
Yeah,
time. So
Athens is cool. I mean, everybody that has been there knows if you're a Georgia fan or not. But it gives you that small college town vibe because there's a lot of places to eat, hole in the walls, dive bars. But the stadium has been hugely renovated. There's a lot of new stuff, big screens, big recruiting office. It's nice, man.
Yeah.
It's super nice.
yeah, it's gonna be good. And like for me, like I wish I could be more contributive to the conversation of college football. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois. Feel sorry for me all you want.
The Fighting Illini.
Yeah, the Fighting Illini. I know the Northwest, but where I grew up, like in Wheaton, Illinois-ish, we didn't really focus on college football. Like
crazy.
College football is just not really the main focus. Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of NFL history where we're at, and like Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers,
Yeah.
and Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions.
NFL's more
Legacies.
big.
Yeah, NFL's more big. It still is really big. So I grew up sadly as a Bears fan.
The Bears.
The Bears stink. So
They're not. Hey, they're going to be okay this year. They got Caleb Williams.
Yeah, they'll be better for
I
sure.
have no idea. Who
He's from USC. He's a Heisman winner.
Okay.
So they got Justin Fields out. Justin Fields was their outgoing quarterback. So the outlook on their offense is better.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. They've been saying that for nearly 30 years. Oh, this is the year for our offense.
You got to have something to sell tickets, man.
So, exactly. I want just call me by. I was a Kyle Orton fan.
Yeah.
I've always been. I always had faith in that quarterback. I actually think he was the Bears quarterback. He just
Was that like 10 years ago?
I know. I'm stuck in the past, like any other Chicago fan.
So I'm just like every other Vols fan. Also, this year's our year for the past 20 years.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah. This year, have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
This year's our year.
But they have done good.
in the
Alabama
last year,
I was trying to think. Was it in the last 3 years they were number one in the country?
Yeah.
Was that 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
3 years.
Yeah, I mean they're consistently up there.
Yeah, they're
I mean
up there.
the Vols is never a team you can sleep on. I mean they'll jump up and beat you.
Yeah. I'm gonna predict 11-1 this year.
That's pretty good.
But who are they going to beat?
So definitely in the playoffs, you're saying?
Definitely.
Yeah, with the 12 slots, it's going to let people in. I think it's going to be good.
So do you think they're going to be Alabama again this year?
I think so.
They got a chance, man. I mean,
Legitimate.
You ever heard the term any given Sunday?
Yeah.
It's any given Saturday in college football.
Because I remember watching that game too. Because I got married into a college football family. Obviously, I'm not from here, so when I got married into Greg's family, married Lindsay, so everything was all been college ball. I guess the love for college. I wouldn't say it's my love, but I've gotten into college ball probably less than 2 years ago. I finally given it up. I'm like, you know what? I might as well just be part of this. I have to be part of this cult.
Yeah.
So
welcome.
yes.
Well, it's the Southeastern Conference is always number one
For
or
sure.
at least top three. I mean, since I've been alive, it's been number one.
Right.
And we live here, so I mean, it gets into your system, dude.
Right. I was going to say, I watched the Alabama Tennessee game, and I got to tell you, that was just. That was just awesome. I felt so happy for the Tennessee fans.
Oh, yeah.
Finally beating Alabama.
Finally.
And
Yeah, sweet.
Going through all through downtown Knoxville, carrying that field goal around.
The goalpost, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you have to. Whatever fine that they had to pay was 100%.
It was
worth
the taxpayers took care of that. And then
not
I
even the
saw more-
taxpayers, just the alumni. I was like, yeah, we got that.
Oh yeah. And then I saw post footage of people partying at local bars and stuff.
Oh,
Peyton
yeah.
Manning was there at some piano bar drinking beer with the fans. That's freaking awesome.
Dude, I'll tell you how so petty college football is and how it runs deep is I think it was the head coach of Auburn left last year in the offseason, and there's a famous tree in Tigertown called Toomer's Corner, and it's a big giant, I think it's an oak tree. It's been there for a long, long time. And if they win, they go and roll it. It's just a thing where kids show up with backpacks full of toilet paper and they just roll the tree where you can't even tell it's a tree. It just looks like a giant white piece of toilet paper. And when that coach quit, I guess they were really wanting him to leave. They went and rolled it. I mean, it wasn't even football season, and they rolled the Toomer's Corner. So they're always paying attention, and college football just runs deep, man. It's the feelings are there.
Well, we are going to spend, since we are on the topic of it, we're talking about tailgating. So we're going to kind of shift. We're still going to talk about this. Still going to talk about lots of football, but we need to talk about. We still got to do the main focus of Toyotas in this conversation.
Yep.
So we are going to talk about the culture of tailgating, and we're going to talk about what best Toyota might accommodate for the tailgate.
I like
so, tailgating. Okay, so anyone that goes to any football game knows hours before a game start, no matter what time it is, you have chicken wings for breakfast or barbecue ribs for breakfast 4 hours before the game. You're cooking your food. Outside of it, and you're pre-gaming on your drinks and eating all the food before you have to spend more money on more food.
Yeah.
Into in the gaming.
Having some of that 8:30 bourbon.
8:30 bourbon, or that 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. beer.
Knows,
So yeah.
Dude, but tailgating, when you think about tailgating, put yourself there, the atmosphere, the environment, like you said, the smells of the food, the music going on, the events, it's a vibe.
I want to also let you guys know, please eat and drink responsibly.
100%, yeah.
We are a car company.
Big disclaimer.
So,
big disclaimer.
As we talk.
Tailgating is a stationary function.
Yes, exactly.
So-
You have your vehicles, but I'm saying North Georgia Toyota wants to make sure everyone does it responsibly.
Yes.
So
And in a Toyota.
and
And in a Toyota. So you can leave the party and you won't get broke down.
But make sure you have autonomous driving just in case.
Yeah. Lane trace.
Lane trace.
Very important.
So let's talk about what kind of vehicles might be really good for tailgating.
Go ahead, Ray.
I think the Toyota 4Runner is one of the best.
Why would you say that?
That's a sleeper. That's a sleeper one.
I think, it's just obviously one of the most dependable vehicles we make. We've been making them a long time. You raise the back hatch on a 4Runner. You've got an optional sliding cargo tray.
Oh, I didn't think
speakers
about
overhead.
that.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, you can slide your wing tray and your drink tray right out to you.
Yeah,
that's good.
4Runners. Oh yeah.
And they have power in the back, and some of them they have the AC plug, so you can plug in a Bluetooth. Or if you have a hotspot on your phone, you can run a full blown TV.
Yeah.
I think you have to in a 4Runner. You may have to run the vehicle to keep the continuous power back there, but. I mean, it may be worth it, to run a TV or a Bluetooth or whatever.
Oh, for sure. I know some vehicles even come with a Bluetooth speaker. I believe that's the.
That was my pick. That was going to be my pick.
Oh, okay.
The Tacoma, the brand new Tacoma. If you get the JBL Audio upgrade package, it comes with a removable speaker that pops out of the dash like something out of Star Trek, and you can go take it. I think it's got like 100-foot radius too.
It's definitely a cool feature.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's cool. It's waterproof, but the Tacoma also has power in the back of the bed too available. You can all kinds of racks and bed caps you can put back there. So if you wanted to grab a tailgate spot the night before, you could camp out. You could like an overlanding type, tailgate experience. Run a grill back there, propane coolers. You got room for it all. So
for sure.
So Tacoma to me, in the truck platform, I think it's a perfect size too because Tundra's awesome. Like if you need the room for your family or like a Sequoia, but the Tacoma, I think in a very crowded college campus would be very more maneuverable.
Easier to maneuver, easier to park, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And I also, I see the Highlander would also be another good one, too.
Highlander's good. Yeah. You got a bunch of kids.
Yeah, a bunch of kids, and plus, it definitely could be a sleeper. You could probably put a full-size air mattress in the back of a Highlander.
You could.
Oh, yeah.
So you could definitely camp out, and there are plugins, UPCs, and also 120, I believe it's 120 volt. Plug-in. So so you can just go and plug in your normal thing, and you can get anything that you need to plug in for your things you need for your tailgating. It is a really great car.
What's a must-have for you guys for tailgating? Like the one item you got to have. Have you ever been tailgating?
I have. Okay. Or at least been around it.
What was a must-have thing for you, gear-wise?
Gear-wise, I would say a grill for one thing.
That's a good one.
You definitely need a grill. You need snacks.
Yeah.
So
you gotta have snacks.
You
gotta have those. Yes, for sure.
What about you, Ray?
What about you, Ray?
I think just a nice cooler full of refreshing drinks, water, Gatorade, whatever the case may be, or
got to stay hydrated.
Personal preference, whatever you're. Yeah.
What about you?
I would say you have to have some type of an awning, like a pull-out awning, or like one of those big pull-out four-corner tent things that you get at Walmart. I forget what they're called.
Chairs.
But got to have some shade. Got to have some place to relax, to claim your space.
Yeah. I think with all this upgrades in technology, like tailgating has probably even been more amazing and more fun.
Oh, yeah.
We can just add in more and more things. Then eventually no one's going to have any space for anything.
Yeah. I think tailgates really are underrated because, a lot of people can't afford – tickets are expensive, man.
They sure are.
To travel – you can tailgate and be right next door to the stadium. You can hear them scoring the touchdown.
Yeah.
And sometimes, compared to the ticket you would buy, you can see it better on TV.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to admit that. But
it's kind of like even like these stadiums are literally building small towns attached.
It's crazy
to this thing. Like even Chattanooga and what really is East Ridge, Tennessee. And Rossville, Georgia, they got. We're still talking about a different kind of football at this point. Right now, it's the Chattanooga Red Wolves, the soccer team, and they're building brand new apartments and all that right there, like right by the stadium.
That's cool.
And growing up in Chicago, you had Wrigleyville, which will be a bunch of towns and restaurants.
The Cubs,
the Duck Cubs. I don't think Saturday Night Live did do that. So, they did the Bulls, but not the Cubs. They missed opportunity for those guys.
Wrigley Field,
but they'll call it. I think it's called Wrigleyville, and they had their restaurants and apartments literally. Right there. I think some buildings actually had like seats on top of the building
that you could see into the stadium.
Yeah, like legitimate residences or there's business buildings had seats on top, and you could go up there and watch the game. Like you have to buy tickets for it, but still, like
it's a good business model. They get you while you're there, and then when you're coming out and you want something to eat, they get you there too.
Yes.
So they're not dumb.
And then the new Turner Stadium is another baseball. The Battery, like.
Oh, you mean Truist Park?
The Truist Park.
Turner Field did exist.
Yeah, exactly. Turner Field did exist. Now it's a parking lot.
Yeah.
My coffee hasn't kicked in this morning.
Truist Park is truly it is super nice. It's in a nice part of town. You can walk to walk in like where you park at to walk to the stadium. You don't feel like you're going to get mugged or have to go through ticket scalpers all the time. They put it in a nice part of town. And it is so high tech, man. The way the stuff to eat, drink.
A lot of good restaurants.
Man, it's cool. Yeah.
That's like basically tailgating, including with your thing. Anyone knocking?
Oh, we're hearing some parts department noise.
Oh, okay.
They're just stocking the shelves.
Okay, gotcha. I was
which is a good sign. That means we're selling parts. They got to buy more parts.
Yeah. No.
What else you got? Football season? Any exciting games you guys are looking forward to in the season or? Fantasy football? Do you guys do fantasy football at all?
I don't do any fantasy football. Sure don't.
Well, let me give them a rundown on my strategy.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about your fantasy football, Daniel.
So, fantasy football, for those of you that have heard about it or have never done it before, fantasy football is based off of a point system, and just like anything else, you have to do a draft. So, NFL specifically, it made me want to watch NFL football more because I used to not. I was just a college-only type, fan, I guess, of football. But NFL football is cool because you can pick your quarterbacks, your wide receivers, your people that score points, and every time they advance the ball or score, you get a certain point value. And at the end of the game, you play other teams, and you see at the very end there's a championship and a playoff. So it's pretty cool. People go really all out for it. It's there's a lot of money behind it. I think there's thousands of dollars spent on fantasy football, but we just do it for fun. We have a prize system. We have a championship belt this year, a Super Bowl ring for second place, a loser magnet for last place. So it's just something fun to do. Me and JD are in the same league. So tonight is actually our fantasy draft. And one of my draft strategies, there's a lot of strategies behind it. Guys get super nerded out and who's going to score. And it's kind of a toss-up, right? Because somebody can get hurt or you need another player during the season. But I like to go running back heavy first. So I like to draft my running back at the very beginning, get a hero running back, elite player, and then I move on to wide receiver, some of the guys that are going to score your most points. And then I like to go ahead and grab my elite QB like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, stuff like that. But it's kind of cool to see everybody's strategy. And the draft night is super cool. We all get our laptops out, and usually we cook out or have pizza. Like today we're doing Gondolier's Pizza. So
cool.
It's just an event, man. It's cool. It's like everybody's pumped about their team. And then while the game's going on, you're like, oh, dude, my quarterback's playing in this. And I don't even care at the end of the game who wins the physical game. I just want Josh Allen to throw 3 touchdowns so I can beat my cousin or whatever,
Right.
So it's really interesting. So if you haven't tried it, what I didn't know getting into it is it's absolutely free. You download the ESPN Fantasy Football app. You can do it completely free. Make your own league. Costs you $0, and it is extremely fun. So I encourage you to go try it if you haven't.
I've tried numerous times to get interested in.
Ben is not a fan of.
I just can't get into it. I don't have the time. I don't have the mental time for it. I mean, I got my own life. I focus on.
That's true.
And all that, and I guess if I wouldn't say I'm much younger, but fantasy football has been going on for like nearly 20 years.
Oh God, it's been
maybe
around
a little
forever.
longer than that.
Dude,
so.
yeah. Like fantasy football used to be around when people would keep score like on paper when like the computer there wasn't an app for it.
Yeah,
people would
crazy.
draft. Yeah, it's wild, man.
Well, I remember like when I was in college, like I had my group of friends doing fantasy league, and my friend Tim Rink is actually listening to the podcast. Like I remember him like begging me, like, dude, please join us. We need another guy. I'm like, dude, please. I don't want to be part of the text messages or this, and this.
Yeah.
Like I just don't care.
It definitely is a commitment. I mean, because every week you have to set your lineup, or if you want to trade a player, you can trade between teams, or if like one of your star guys gets hurt, which is pretty typical, then you got to scrounge and go to waiver wires and figure out what you're doing. And then if they have a bye week, so you've got 3 players on a bye week, and you got to start somebody, it's like you're in panic mode. So it is fun,
right? And then Tim's like, look, what if I created a team for you and put it in your name? And I said, okay, that's fine. Like,
use your number, right?
Yeah, use my number, whatever.
So if you got any good players, he could just take them from your team.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
And so I just use my fine. Just use my. I'll be present, but not really. So he goes. So I had my friend Tim kind of take control of my team, and I had the Chicago Bears defense, but I think I had like Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. This is a long time ago, so I could be wrong.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is still playing.
Yeah. New York Jets now.
I'm going to take him as my backup if he's still available.
I actually hope. I actually would like to see how he does, because the poor guy got injured like the first play last year.
He lasted 3 snaps under center, and he twisted his Achilles. Was Achilles?
He snapped his Achilles. So 1, 2, 3 snap.
Man.
So that
just goes to show you, man. You better have a backup for your backup.
But I'll tell you, my team that Tim was taking control over, like it actually got to 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 the playoffs. I think, I didn't do anything.
See, that
Tim was pretty good. Huh?
that just goes to show you though, like you just never know. It's a toss up. Like they may say this quarterback's going to take you to the championship, and then he just has a bad year. I mean, it completely happens.
Right.
Did you guys want to run down your favorite team schedules real quick for those guys? I know Ray, you want to pull up the Tennessee schedule?
I've got it already. Yes, sir.
I think it would be cool if we could run through and in our personal humble opinion, go win and loss column and see what we think is going to be win and losses.
Okay.
I've got UGA's pulled up. I'll go first. We've got number 1 starting off tomorrow at noon kickoff, which is it is what it is, but noon kickoff for us is Clemson. They're number 14. I think we're going to handle them. I don't think that'll be a problem. Clemson's kind of one of those sneaky teams again. Week 2 for us is Tennessee Tech in Cookeville. A lot of good guys in Cookeville, actually. I think that's going to be one of those easy games, kind of like the mocks for Tennessee this week. We've got Kentucky week 3. Again, I don't think they're going to be that much of a competition, honestly. So Kentucky for us will be easy. Alabama number 5 currently they're number 5. We're number 1. We play them week 4. I think that will definitely be a challenge. Alabama, no matter who's at the helm, in my opinion, they're always could get you.
Force. Definitely a force.
Yes. Auburn for us week 5. I think that's going to be another scrap, but I think that's going to be okay. So that is potentially 1 loss, 4 wins for us so far. Mississippi State, no problem. Texas, their first inaugural year in the SEC. That could be tough. Texas was in the playoffs last year. They're number 4 preseason, so I think that could be another really tough battle for us. Florida, not too worried. Ole Miss, again, I think that's in the win column. Tennessee, I'm not going to say, dude, they could literally jump up. Candace's first Georgia game, we go to Athens, and it was the year that Tennessee throws the Hail Mary at the very end, and you could hear a church mouse in there after it. They could just sneak up and beat you at any moment.
Anything could happen, but that is my 1 loss, just to let you
That's the 1 loss? Yeah. Okay.
Against Georgia.
I'm going to be nice and say that's undecided for me. I think it could go either way. Yeah. I hope we win, but like I said, Tennessee could jump up. UMass, I don't have to say, there's no comment there. I mean, it's not even a game. Georgia Tech looked great against Florida State. And Florida State was number 10. Mm-hmm. So, again, there's about 4 games in Georgia's schedule that, for me, I'm kind of on the fence on. I hope they can pull it out, but
that option play, buddy, is pretty tough.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's it for Georgia. Dre, what you got for Tennessee, man?
Well, we open with UTC, which should be just a good opener. Get some of the cobwebs knocked off. Get hit a few times, and and then we go to North Carolina.
Oh yeah, you got that.
So it should be a rather easy game. Kent State, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Florida, and then Alabama.
Oof.
We've got Alabama on October the 19th. Dang. So that's going to be pretty tough game for us. I mean, anything could happen. Any SEC Saturday, anything could happen. And then we follow up Alabama with Kentucky, and then Mississippi State.
That's a W.
That's it.
You can win.
Should be, certainly. Yeah. And then the day before my birthday. So what would be a better birthday gift?
To beat Georgia?
To beat Georgia. That's the day before my birthday. Man, Tennessee could give me a gift, Daniel.
I hope they don't.
And then UTEP and then Vandy. We close out with Vandy. I think
you got a chance to go 2-10 if Georgia and Alabama beat you.
I mean, I think
that's playoff
we're going to
viable.
do 11 wins and 1 loss. I'm just telling you. That's certainly what I think.
They're going to be good. I think that's a really good schedule.
11 wins, 1 loss, and Georgia will be our only loss unless God intervenes and just,
Tennessee could be in the playoff contention this year, I think.
But again, you never know. We're playing Florida at home. We've got Alabama at home. So
that's a huge advantage.
That's huge.
That's big time.
But we've got Georgia,
in Athens?
Yes.
That scares me, too, because of what happened with Candace's game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that scares me.
And we've got Oklahoma.
Yeah. They're a sneaky team.
Yeah.
Who's the other team that joined the SEC? It was Texas and somebody else joined this year. I'm drawing a blank.
Let's see. Let's look at the.
It was 2 teams from the Big Ten that came over because A&M came years ago. And then
somebody you would never think. I mean,
so we got.
Oh, it's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was Texas and Oklahoma.
It was,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to find names of
Sooners.
all the SET. So,
which is, I mean, it's crazy to think that.
I don't see Oklahoma on the list.
In the SEC, it was Oklahoma and Texas. This is their inaugural season.
Okay, gotcha.
This is their first welcome to the SEC smack in the mouth. We'll see.
Yeah.
And Tennessee's got them on the 21st. So
I think they're going to handle Oklahoma. Texas, for any team, Texas is good.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a returning quarterback. His last name is Ewers. He's like a 6-year senior. He's like 34. He's good.
He's 34 years old.
I mean, he's old. He's like Stetson Bennett for us years ago. I mean, Stetson Bennett should have left.
college football, like Tennessee's quarterback's 19.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, so that puts it in perspective. Yeah,
He's a grown man. He's good.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite team? You got a rundown?
I kind of had one for the Bears, but again, I haven't really focused much on football.
We'll just go through their schedule and I'll help you.
I'll go through the schedule of the Chicago Bears. I really don't think Bears are good anymore.
Caleb Williams.
I'm telling you, I live in the past with the Bears, man. I don't live in the future with the Bears. So
we'll go through their schedule. Let's see what you're working with. Caleb Williams thought he was so good, he didn't even work out at the NFL draft. He said, "You can watch my game film." That's what he said. That's their starting QB.
A little cocky much there. That's just cocky as Jay Cutler, man.
I don't
actions.
Yeah. I didn't appreciate his attitude, but in preseason he looked pretty good. So I mean, if you can back it up, you can back it up. I don't know.
Talk some junk if you can
we'll
back
see.
it up.
We'll
right?
see. Yeah. We'll see.
And disclaimer again, folks. This is just mere opinions. We're not ripping on anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So just let
big
you know.
asterisk.
Just put a little asterisk to this. As I don't want the NFL commissioner calling Greg and go, "What the heck is
Roger Goodell calls Greg?" Yeah. That would be wild.
Could you imagine that conversation?
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
Oh man. Okay, so the schedule kicks off with the Chicago Bears playing the Tennessee Titans.
That's a win.
That's going to be.
I think that's going to be a win
That's
too.
a win.
Yeah, for the Titans.
Yeah.
Come on,
No.
Titans, let's roll, baby.
I don't know. I'm going to say Bears win.
I actually had been to a Titans game before against Green Bay Packers. I mean, I actually had a good time.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
the
great.
Nissan Stadium is so cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that stadium. That was a fun game too. I'd never seen Aaron Rodgers play until a few years ago, and he's a talented quarterback, folks.
Oh, dude,
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
Nashville's a nice little town.
Yeah,
too,
I
if
love
you've never
Nashville.
Visited there. It's
Yeah.
nice.
A bunch of stuff to do.
Oh yeah, Houston Texans in Texas.
Ooh.
That's going to be.
I think Texans could probably get this one.
CJ Stroud is their quarterback, and they've got what is that guy's name? They got Devin Singletary running back. They've got Nico Collins, Tank Dell. They got a giantly talented receiver core. So their defense is going to have to step up. But I think they're going to lose that one.
Okay, and then the next one, Chicago Bears versus the Indianapolis Colts.
That's going to be a win.
This is gonna be a win for the Bears too.
The Colts is on a down year.
Oh, I just hope it's just a Super Bowl revenge every time.
All those Colts need is that Tennessee quarterback to come back. That's
Yeah,
all
I know. Yeah, Peyton Manning. Yeah, he was legend status.
And then so LA Rams versus the Bears.
Oof. That's tough.
I think LA will probably win that one.
That could go either way.
And
It depends on who shows up to play. But
is Stafford still the quarterback of LA? I don't know if they got. If he's,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I believe you.
and then Stetson Bennett backs him up.
Yeah.
Which Stetson Bennett is back in the league now because he was at rehab for whatever he had issues, but he's back and he looks great.
All the Georgia players seems like they move on to the Philadelphia Eagles, Bears, or LA. They're like the top three teams they go to.
Philadelphia Eagles took our whole defense after the first national championship. They called it Athens West or something up there. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, they're good. So wait. So they were playing who again?
The one I just mentioned.
The Bears and
then the LA Rams. I think LA will probably get this.
It's a toss-up. The Bears should win, but that's a toss-up. That's on the fence for me.
Okay, the next one's Carolina Panthers and Bears. I think will win for sure.
Panthers don't have anything.
Jacksonville Jaguars or Bears.
Trevor Lawrence is done. I mean, he was great. A national championship winning quarterback at Clemson, but man, his NFL career is really stalled out.
Yeah, so another Bears win for this one.
Win there.
And I actually had been to a Bears and Jags game when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
It's enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun with my friend Jake Hurd and his uncle and his uncle's buddy, and we just had a great time in the city and watching the Bears play. It was like my second Bears game I went to as a kid. I went to a Dallas Cowboys and Bears game at Soldier Field when it looked old and rustic. Then I went to the newer, updated one in 2008. Okay. Then I went to my other Bears game against the Atlanta Falcons. I think it was only appropriate.
Was that here in Atlanta?
Yes, here in Atlanta.
At the Mercedes?
Yes.
Mercedes-Benz Dome was nice.
I think it was the Mercedes or if it was before the Mercedes. I forget. It was in 2014.
It was before Mercedes.
Okay, it was before Mercedes. Yeah, I've only been to the Braves and Falcons games before all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
you need to go catch a Falcons game at the Benz. Yeah. It is cool.
I've been to a Atlanta United game at the Benz.
That was
you've
really
cool.
It, yeah.
I've never been to NFL game.
It's fancy.
I think it would be appropriate after this Bears conversation. We should talk about the Atlanta Falcons just for the heck of it.
We can. I got some stats on the Falcons.
Let me start on the Falcons just really fast. So
Yeah, go
speaking
ahead.
of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So my father-in-law went. A gentleman we know just gave us some tickets.
Oh.
He was just like, hey, here, anybody, Ray, you want to go to this? I said, yeah, man, yeah, I'd love to go.
That's cool.
So he was a season ticket holder and couldn't go. He gave us three games, I believe it was. Either way. So naturally, we're in the Falcon section, okay?
Yeah.
This gentleman and his wife comes in and sits beside my father-in-law. It's me and my father-in-law that went. He was probably about 6'6", 6'7", huge mountain of a man.
Dang.
Yeah. And they were playing Minnesota Vikings.
Oh.
And this gentleman, after Falcons start getting beat up pretty bad, stood up and started pointing at Falcons fans. You could be a Vikings fan. You could be a Vikings fan. Nobody said a word. So I just thought that's pretty cool. This mountain of a man's up there talking about, just rubbing it in the Falcons' face, and nobody said a word. It's just like, yes, sir, we could be, and maybe we will.
Dude, NFL fans are passionate. Dude.
Yes, they
It's
are.
wild.
I went to the Falcons game with Greg, Lindsay, and Kim, and this is before my son was born. So
Okay.
freedom. I'm just kidding. I love you, son. So so anyway, I was probably the only Bears fans amongst all the Falcons fans.
Oh,
but
you had to
luckily,
be.
there were some other Bears fans nearby, and me and the other Bears fans were cheering. We even had a selfie. We had a selfie of ourselves.
Did you have all your Bears gear
Yes.
on? Oh, you're a
But
brave man.
But I did put a Falcons tattoo on my face because I wanted to be equal-ish. So, yeah. Some people gave me weird looks for that. I'm like, I'm kind of new to Georgia, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to embrace my new roots.
What's
So-
next? What's next? Who did they play next?
Yeah, next. Okay, we talking about. Okay, we talked about the Jags. So Chicago Bears versus Washington Commanders. I think Bears will win this one.
I think so too. Commanders are pretty weak.
Well, no, take this one out. The Chicago Bears versus the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Kyler Murray's back. He's healthy. He's very run pass, or I mean, he run. If he second guesses his reads, he's taking off, and he's fast.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough.
I think
The Bears defense has to contain him. I don't know if they can.
considering I was a Chicago White Sox fan first before
Yeah.
I was a Cubs fan,
Yeah.
I'm going to pull for the Cardinals for fun for this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Because-
I think they're going to win.
Because now there's relevance to this conversation.
Yeah.
What I'm bringing up. So I'm pretty. I don't know if you guys know the history. If you guys do, awesome. But for the podcast listeners, I'm just going to give you guys some Chicago history in Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals was actually the Chicago Cardinals alongside the Chicago Bears.
Oh.
Back in the 1920s, or like definitely in early stages of football.
Wow.
In the NFL. So Chicago Bears, which makes more sense having Chicago Cubs, because Chicago Bears 2 also played at Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Alongside when the switches of the season. Arizona Cardinals, which were at the time Chicago Cardinals, played at Comiskey Park, which is now Guaranteed Rate Stadium, where the Chicago White Sox play.
Oh.
So throughout history of football, the Arizona Cardinals left Chicago. They went to St. Louis. So St. Louis had both baseball and football.
Cardinals at the same time.
Yeah, Cardinals in the same town.
That's crazy.
So everyone just had to wear the same jerseys basically all day.
That's wild.
Yeah. Then eventually it went on to Arizona.
Yeah.
I think sometime in like 80s or 90s or something like that. I forget.
That's crazy,
So,
man.
yeah. So yeah, it made its way all the way from Midwest to the West, Southwest.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to have trouble with Arizona.
Yeah, I think they'll have some trouble with Arizona too. I remember that one time they beat the Arizona Cardinals, and the coach at the time, I forgot what his name was, but he's dead now.
Oh.
But let me find it out. They are.
I forgot who he was, but he's dead. Great guy.
His name Dennis Green, the coach. When the Bears beat the Cardinals, and he goes, "They are." Yeah, the press conference, he goes, "They are who we thought they were."
I remember that. I've seen that meme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah, next. New England Patriots versus Bears. I think.
Oh. That's a rivalry game, I think.
Yeah, it is because of Super Bowl 20 rivalry.
Wow.
I think Bears could probably beat them this time now that Tom Brady's not involved anymore.
Yeah, they've really struggled. They've had Mac Jones from Alabama that tried to fill. He was the next quarterback after Brady that started. That's a toss-up, man. The Patriots are in a weird time. They don't have Belichick anymore. They're really trying to find their identity again. I think Chicago beats them.
And even talking about Bill Belichick,
What's he doing now? Is he serving ice cream? What's he doing?
I think he's a commentator now. I think.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
He's so much better than that.
Well, I could look up what he's doing right now.
That's okay. Keep going.
I don't want to give him misinformation. So.
That's okay. Now, I don't know what he's doing, but I mean, that doesn't. I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, Nick Saban's on College Game Day. So.
Well, you do know that Saban and Bill Belichick
are on the same coaching staff at the Browns.
Yeah, Cleveland Browns, and they're still good friends. So no wonder why they were good.
Dude, they're football geniuses.
Yes, legitimate. Yeah. Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears, round 1.
That's a win.
For Bears or Packers?
For the Bears.
Wow, really?
The Packers don't have a lot of weapons. Jordan Love's quarterback. You got Christian Watson coming off an injury. Wide receiver. Aaron Jones is gone. Their stud running back is gone now. He's in Minnesota, so I just don't think they got anything in the stable for him.
Gotcha. Minnesota Vikings versus Chicago Bears.
I think the Vikings are going to beat them.
You think so?
Vikings got some.
Vikings pretty tough.
Vikings are good. They don't have Kirk Cousins, but they got I forget that new guy. I think he's a rookie that's there now. But yeah, I mean, they're going to be good.
Oh, for sure. Oh, Bears versus Lions.
Detroit Lions. Gosh, the Lions defense is super stout, but their offense is kind of slack.
So you think the Lions are the new Chicago Bears? What they used to be? Because now Bears
they were more defense heavy than offense.
Yeah,
I will tell you something cool about where we're at. Dalton, Georgia. Jameer Gibbs played at Dalton High School. He is the starting running back for the Detroit Lions. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really.
He's
cool.
a stud. He's really good.
Well, I think we had some Dalton people become Lions before, right? Or is that the same guy I'm thinking of?
No, this is the only guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought like it was multiple people. My bad.
In like the last 20 years, he's the only one I know of that. Like he is the running back at the Detroit Lions. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah. Okay. The next is Bears versus 49ers. I would say 49ers.
49ers are going to beat them.
Yeah, but they haven't
coming off Super Bowl loss. But they're still have everybody.
The Bears have not figured out how to. Every time they played against 49ers the past 10 years, they always lose.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say 49ers.
They just got too many weapons, man.
Bears versus Vikings again.
Again?
Yeah.
Are they in the same conference?
Yeah, they are. So Bears, Packers, and
did we say it was a toss-up last time?
Vikings.
So you see, Vikings will beat them twice.
Mm-hmm. I think the Vikings take. I'm with Ray on that one.
Okay, so Lions again right after that one.
I think they get again, and in 4 weeks they play them twice.
Yes, that's how it works in the NFL. You have conferences, you play like your rivals twice.
Good gracious!
So like Green Bay.
I didn't know it was back to back like that though.
Sometimes it is. So
wow.
Yeah.
I think the Lions come out again on that one.
And Seahawks versus the Bears.
They're going to beat the Seahawks. I don't think the Seahawks got it.
And lastly, Bears versus Packers at Lambeau Field.
Ooh, at Lambeau Field. Oh,
Packers.
You got to give it to Green Bay on that one, yeah.
Packers.
It's tough to beat them at home.
Man. Okay.
Those cheeseheads, they show up and show out.
Okay. And lastly, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm very optimistic about Atlanta Falcons this year.
Yeah.
We got Kirk Cousins. He came from the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is a veteran NFL quarterback, which is hopefully way better than last year. You've got Bijan Robinson, one of the top 3 running backs in the country for the NFL. He is our starting running back. Got Drake London, wide receiver. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is one of the best tight ends. He's top 5 tight end. We have him too. The Falcons are stacked, man. Absolutely stacked.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the schedule up.
Isn't Arthur Smith gone? He was their head coach. They got a new head coach too, right? Am I thinking wrong? Arthur Smith is gone.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because they were saying that their offense is probably going to be like unleashed away from him because he had a certain mentality about offenses. I'm trying to think of who. They lost the Super Bowl and they hold the record for losing the Super Bowl in the quickest way possible.
I hope we're
Last half.
I hope we're accurate in these conversations because I don't want the NFL commissioner.
No, that's a fact. I watched it. There was a stat that came out about that game that said if they would have kneed the ball after halftime, every offensive down, every possession that they just need the ball and run the clock out, they would have won.
Gotcha.
And they lost the game.
Man.
But I mean,
What was it, 28-0
dude,
or something going into half?
It was more than 3 scores.
Yeah.
And then Tom Brady did what Tom Brady does, and he killed him. Came back from a 30-point deficit, and that's why he's the GOAT. And the Falcons made him look that good, but it's just like the defense died. They just all went to sleep. I don't know what happened, dude.
I think they were just like, oh, we got this.
That was the same year that Georgia won the first Natty since the 80s, that same year, and the Falcons go to the Super Bowl, and like, oh my gosh, the stars are aligning for Georgia sports fans, and they just absolutely wasted their opportunity.
Wow.
It was wild.
That's crazy. Well, let's talk about I got the schedule pulled up now. So
yeah, go ahead.
Atlanta Falcons versus Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. No, wrong way. Other way around. They're at home.
What do you think, Ray?
Falcons.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because I feel like the Steelers have not had their weapons like they used to.
They're on a down year.
Yeah. The Dirty Bird.
Oh, the Eagles?
The Eagles.
I got to give it
in Philadelphia.
Oh, the Eagles.
Yeah. The Eagles, probably.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts and the entire Georgia Bulldog championship defense.
We got the Chiefs and the Falcons in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they play early this year. Oh, I got to give it to the Chiefs when they're Super Bowl champions.
Oh, well, New Orleans
Falcons.
You think the Falcons?
I think so.
That'd be a good game. I hope the Falcons show up for that game.
I think the Chiefs will beat them.
Yeah, I think so too. Pat Mahomes and all the weapons. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Yeah, can't forget her. Yeah.
They're still dating.
She'll be there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're still dating.
Oh man,
Power couple.
So Saints, how New Orleans Saints versus.
I think we'll beat the Saints.
Beat the
That's
Saints.
a big rivalry game.
Yes.
For whatever, why is that such a rivalry game with the Falcons? I don't ever understood
weird.
that. They hate each other.
Well, that's why they're rivals.
It's wild. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They're thousands of miles apart, and it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
I mean, it's like no different than the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. They're rivals, and
Yeah,
and the same thing. Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys are rivals too.
that's weird.
Yeah, it's a very weird. I guess because that one's like the most northern team, but I really think Minnesota would be more northern. But
Yeah.
But evidently they picked Green Bay being the most northern team, and then Dallas being the most southern team.
That's weird.
Which is really weird. I feel like Houston's a little more south than Dallas, but
Yeah,
it makes,
I would give it to the. I want to see the Falcons beat the Saints. That'd be cool.
I do too. Buccaneers versus Falcons. That's another rivalry right there.
They're going to beat the Buccaneers.
For sure.
Falcons versus Panthers.
Beat them.
Beat them.
what I
Seahawks
mean.
versus Falcons.
I think they're going to beat them too.
And once again, Falcons versus Buccaneers.
Back to back like that.
Yeah.
I think
Well, that's how they work
I think
in
they
the
beat
NFL.
them. I think they sweep them.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Dallas Cowboys versus Falcons.
Oh, Falcons.
I got to pick the Cowboys.
I picked the
Dak
Cowboys.
Prescott, number one wide receiver in all of football. CeeDee Lamb. It's going to be
Come
tough. It's going to be tough. man.
I was actually
It's gonna be
hoping the
tough.
Cowboys
It's gonna
would.
be tough.
I was hoping the Cowboys would have made the Super Bowl last year.
They had a chance.
I know they do. They keep their.
I want to see Dak Prescott do so good because he's a Texas A&M guy, SEC guy now. Man, he just seems like he gets so close. He's very talented.
Yeah.
And in NFL, it's so tough because like you have so much talent, but then at the same time you're getting older, and it's like you only have a window of. I mean, Tom Brady's the exception, right? He was like what 30 something when he won all the Super Bowls, but normal people, especially Dak Prescott, that run like he'll take off out of the pocket and run the ball himself. You don't last very long doing that. Cam Newton had a shelf life because he played like that. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tom Brady, just really briefly, I heard rumors he was thinking about coming back to play.
I mean, he's in good enough shape he could.
So I heard Minnesota Vikings, but was looking at him. That's why
He's good, buddy.
It'd be weird, but I could see it.
I mean, don't.
You want to see something funny? Is not right now, but people on the podcast, Google Tom Brady's recruitment video from Michigan, his 40 time at the combine. It is hilarious. It is the weirdest, funniest thing because it's so old and the equipment they're wearing, but also to watch him run. He just he looks like a baby giraffe straight out the womb, like cannot. Yet he's the greatest quarterback in my lifetime. Ever.
He played in Michigan, correct?
Yeah, he was Michigan. Yeah.
So-
and he wasn't that good.
Yeah,
he was okay.
But now that he's the GOAT,
He is the GOAT.
If they need a quarterback, he could just come back and play and bring it and win a championship.
And they say that his longevity was attributed to his trainer really had him on a strict diet, and he stretched like he did yoga. He didn't really like lift weights and do extraneous training. Like I'm sure he trained, but like his stretching over his like age span of him playing, it kept him out of injuries because he was more flexible, and he focused on diet and literally yoga.
Oh, wow,
And he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
crazy.
Something must work.
That's wild, man. That's crazy.
Okay, again, Falcons versus Saints again in New Orleans.
Oh, I give that to Saints. I think the Saints are
Ray?
going to beat them.
Saints. I think Saints will win that one. Broncos in Denver. Falcons against Broncos.
They better take some oxygen, but I think they're going to beat the Broncos.
Going to beat the Broncos at home or at their home.
Yeah.
Chargers versus Falcons in Atlanta.
I like the Chargers because they have Lad McConkey. He was great, but I don't think they got enough for the Falcons.
Gotcha. And then Falcons versus Minnesota Vikings.
Again?
Well, no, they don't. This is the only game
it's
they
the first
played.
time.
Yeah. It's really weird. Falcons will take somebody from the Northern Conference at least every other year. Like Bears will play them like every other year.
What do you think, Falcons or Vikings?
Vikings.
I think the Vikings can get
I
them.
think so too.
So, Falcons versus Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders on a down year, I don't think that'll be a problem.
It'll be in Las Vegas, though, too.
Yeah, that's fine. You know what's crazy about their stadium is that whole piece of turf down there. It's natural grass. It's on rollers, and it goes outside the stadium during the day and gets sunshine, and I guess if they want it to be rained on, and then it's on a track that rolls it back into the stadium, and they play on it at night.
That's crazy.
Is that nuts?
That is
It
nuts.
takes like 3 hours for it to go from inside to outside. That's because of how slow it is. But I didn't know that, and I was like, well, I mean, how do you grow grass in the desert, But they do it, buddy. It is wild.
They found a way.
It's crazy.
Out in the desert with a horse with no name.
Dude, yeah.
That song plays constantly in our dealership.
Does it really?
Yes, it does.
On repeat?
Yes. New York Giants versus Atlanta. Falcons versus Washington Commandos.
That's messed up. What do you think?
Falcons.
Yeah, I think so too.
And lastly, Panthers and Falcons.
That's a rivalry game too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Bryce. I can't remember his last name, but Bryce, the guy that came out of Alabama before, the current Alabama quarterback now, he's not doing so hot in Carolina. So I think the Falcons have got him.
Okay. I wish I kept tallies, whoever we thought would win. So
I think we've tallied about Falcons about 4 losses this year. I think it's going to be
Falcons are going to be playoff viable for sure.
Yeah,
if
for
they
sure.
stay healthy, it's a big if.
Well, we'll see. Awesome.
What else you got?
Folks, I don't really have anything else I want to talk about unless there's anything you want to talk about for football season.
Tailgating tips, stay hydrated, sunscreen, snacks.
Remember, go Vols.
Go Vols.
Oh!
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Roll Tide.
Sick 'em.
Whatever you guys want.
Yeah, whatever your flavor is, just make sure you're watching it. Watch the football. Enjoy it because it's the time of year that we all look forward to, and it's gone in a flash, so enjoy it.
And make sure that your cars are fully charged, fully gassed, and make sure they're Toyotas, especially.
Yeah, and stay up to date with the events because Ben has stuff going on all fall, and we're always going to have stuff going on Saturdays. If you need help with sales, call Ray. Sales manager will help you. I'm here on the BDC side. Let us know, and we'll put you in a car.
That's
Always
right.
remember, we're 1510 East Walnut Avenue, Dalton, Georgia.
Yes.
Happy to help, and oh, yes, we can.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, we can.
Oh, yes, we can. We'll put you in the best tailgating vehicle there can be for this particular
Oh,
season.
yes, we will.
Oh, yes, we will.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got. Does anyone else have anything to contribute?
Good to go.
We're
Great show, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for tuning in for another very special episode of Wheels and Deals today. So now we got Daniel back as my co-host. He was really excited to do this particular podcast today. So this is a very special podcast.
Absolutely.
To pick our minds on football. And we'll see you guys in the next one. So be sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify and iTunes as well to listen to this podcast other than just our YouTube channel. You can also catch myself and Daniel doing Test Drive Tuesdays or other salesmen that introduce themselves to test drive these vehicles. So any other way that you want to be more involved in our community with North Georgia Toyota, you can always find me through North Georgia Toyota's Facebook page and ask for me or come by the dealership. And any way that we can do to better the community and your quality of life here in Dalton, just feel free to come by our dealership. And that's a wrap, my friends. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Wheels and Deals.